Hey everyone, Jay here. Welcome to this video where we're going to be talking about overcoming skepticism. Now, one of my favorite t-shirts is a t-shirt that says, "Mean people suck." And I share that with you because I want you to understand that we live in a world that is full of a lot of negativity. In fact, we have another video later that is actually dealing specifically with negative people. But on this video, we are going to talk about those skeptics. And this is really important because I want you to think about who in your life right now, if you went to them and you had an idea that you had invented something, I want you to think about who you would share it with that you know would immediately say, "Oh, that's never going to work," right? You see, everywhere we go in life, we deal with skepticism. You were probably a little bit skeptical before you got started with your business, and I bet you're sure glad that you finally did, right? Or maybe you were skeptical that the marketing system would actually have the training that you need to grow your business. Now you're not. You see, skepticism in and of itself is actually a sign of intelligence. You being skeptical is a sign that you are not going to take everything you see in life at face value. After all, it's the internet. We can't believe everything we hear on the radio, see on TV, or read or see on the internet, right? So, skepticism in and of itself is a healthy activity. It is a sign of intelligence, and you are encouraged to be a little bit skeptical. But how do you deal with skeptical people, right? How do you deal with people who say, "Well, that's never going to work," or "I would never be able to succeed with that," or they say, "Well, why don't you get back to me after you've made a lot of money with it?" Now, the very first way that I would encourage you to deal with skepticism is to just acknowledge that it exists. I mean, let's be honest. You're a little bit skeptical at times, I'm a little bit skeptical at times, and you will meet skeptical people. And that's a good thing because that means you're meeting some intelligent people. So, the first thing that I want you to learn about how to deal with skepticism is to anticipate it so that you're not surprised when you come across skepticism, right? I don't want you to be all freaked out. "Oh my gosh, he was skeptical. What do I do? The company doesn't have a 90-year track record. They're only a few years old or a few months old," whatever the case is, right? The first thing I want you to do about skepticism is I want you to anticipate it. You're going to get skepticism. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to embrace it. I want you to reach out there and give it a big old hug. And I want you to tell them, "Look, be honest. It sounds like you're just a little bit skeptical. Is that a fair assertion on my part?" Great, no problem. I think that skepticism is a sign of intelligence. And then I want you to answer the specific points that they were skeptical about. Now, you can do that if you're texting, you can do that in email, you can do that on a video, you can do that if you're talking to them in person, you can do that if you're talking to them on the phone. But what I want you to most importantly do is to not run from skepticism, because often the world's most skeptical people, the people that put up the most skepticism up front, are the ones that once you get past that, you'll find that they are extremely open-minded. Now, I'll tell you a story from years ago when I used to door knock. They call it canvassing. I would door knock to sell products or services. And you will probably be familiar with the fact that many people, perhaps even you, have a no trespassing or no soliciting sign in their door. And I can tell you this, that depending on what I was marketing and the municipality that I was marketing in, I would really enjoy knocking on doors that said no soliciting. In fact, I learned to anticipate it, I learned to embrace it, and then I knocked on their door. And I would find that they had the most resistance in the first 30 seconds. "Why are you knocking on my door? Don't you see the sign?" Right? Sometimes I did see the sign, sometimes I didn't see the sign. But then I would just simply continue to communicate with them, and I would go right out that skepticism. And I would say, "Hey, I can completely understand. I didn't see the sign, but be honest with me. You have the sign because there's a lot of sketchy people selling things that don't work, that probably won't help you improve your home value or improve your quality of life. Am I right?" And then if they would say yes, and I would say, "Well, that's actually completely different from what I do. Let me ask you a question. If I could honestly show you a way to not only feel better, live better, enjoy your home more, but actually improve your home's value by as much as 20 to 30% in as little as the next 14 days, would that be worth a few minutes of your time to find out how to get that done?" You see, with skepticism, you need to anticipate it. You need to embrace it, and then you need to go right through it. And that's what you need to do. And keep in mind that skepticism is okay. It's not a negative thing. Skepticism and negativity sound similar. They seem similar. They have similar connotations. And at first you might say, well, they're the same thing. No, they're not. A negative person, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, is completely different from a skeptical person. A skeptical person just has logical barriers for why something will or won't work. They need more information. A negative person, doesn't matter what you share with them, they know in their mind, they've already decided that it's never going to work. So that's how you deal with skepticism. That's how you overcome it. Oftentimes they may even be skeptical. Well, I don't understand the guarantee, or I don't understand how this product works, or I don't understand that. And a lot of times you can always just say, you know what, that's a great point. I'm not entirely sure either. I'm not a scientist, but I know that I love using this product or service. I know that when I share it with other people and they give it 14 days or 30 days, they come back to me and they say, wow, it really did work. And I know that they're very grateful that I took the time. So let's do this. Why don't you just give it a try? Put your skepticism on hold until you've tried the product or service. Is that fair enough? And that's all you need to do in order to push through. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.